Hello and welcome back to Sakura Swim Club. There we go. Sorry, between recording parts I nipped to the bathroom and got myself a couple of headache pills. For the record, I don't have much of a headache. It's a very minor one, but I figured I'd get on top of it. But anyway. Anyway. Drugs are excellent. Providing they are legal and yada 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 yada. Don't do illegal drugs, people. Somehow, I think that they're going to be fine. It's coming up to that defining moment now. They're about to dive in, and the shrill cry of a whistle rings through the air, and the race begins, and all of them make their dive. There are only two people who I care about in this race, though, and I know that they'll make it. There's no way they'll lose this. Not to anyone, especially not to each other. Once everyone's in the pool, you can clearly see who's faster than who. Those two are neck and neck, just as I thought they would be. They do have some competition though. The other swimmers have undoubtedly been training for this too. One girl in particular seems to be keeping an even pace with both of them. All of these years, I think the only thing that was holding them back was their own fears. Now they can face their fears. This tournament isn't going to be any trouble for them at all. Come on you two! Do your best! I know you'll win! I hope they can hear me. They seem to be swimming even faster than they were before. That other girl is quickly left behind. Must be pushing themselves to their absolute limit. As they continue neck and neck, I find myself getting anxious for some reason. I'm anticipating the outcome. Which one of these girls will be the one to win the tournament? The entire race is just Hiromi and Miku competing with one another. I can only think of the insults they'll be flinging at one another if they were able to. The final lap is rapidly approaching. I think they're getting tired now, not as fast as they were when the race started. They're instead opting for a steadier pace. They've still got an unbeatable lead on everyone else though. It's more of a question of which of the two will be crowned as the winner of the tournament. But now comes the defining moment of this race, the final stretch, both of them speeding towards the end. One question remains, which of the two is better? I can feel my heart jumping into my mouth. Who's going to win? I don't know! As I continue to look on, they begin to reach for the end of the pool, and this is it! Which one of them will make it? I close my eyes for a moment, waiting for the result. Slowly open them and look down. They both touch the end of the pool at the exact same moment. Ah! You'll be needing the electron microscope then. Seriously, one of my favourite Futurama jokes is when they're at the horse races, and it's so close that they have to use an electron microscope to figure out who won, and they declare the winner, and Farnsworth's comment is, "No fair, you changed the result by measuring it." Sorry, if you're a nerd who understands Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, that is hilarious. It's a tie! They're both equal to one another. That was not the result I was expecting. It's bloody the result I was expecting. Both of them have their own unique swimming styles, but in the end, they're equal to each other. I guess that's why they'll always be friends. And rivals. As they pull themselves out of the pool, I can hear them complaining to each other. I can't believe it! It's a tie! I didn't lose to you, Hiromi? I quickly make my way down from the stands to break up their argument. Neither of you lost to each other. That's what a tie is. You're both as good as each other. They both look away from each other and pout. Not you too, Hiromi. Aren't you supposed to be the mature one? Are you saying I'm immature, Keita? How dare you? And she angrily begins to stamp her foot. First I'll lose the race and now this? This is the worst swimming tournament ever? I wanted to win as well. So what do we do about our bet now? Bet? What bet? They stop pouting and look at me sheepishly. We made a bet. Whoever wins the tournament would get to take you out on your first date. My first date? That's what all this was about? That's why they're both so angry with one another? We were going to do so many cute things, but now my plans are ruined? I'm not the only one who has ruined plans. I like how nobody asked me if I wanted to go on a date after this. I would make him even happier than you. Just you wait, Hiromi. He'll only want to spend time with me soon enough. We'll see about that. It occurs to me that I don't have much time left to prepare for my own race. Look, we'll talk about this later, you two. Oh, right, you're about to race. Oh no, we've been wasting your time. Both of them begin shoving me towards the starting line. Hurry up! You've got to win this, Keita. Failure is not an option. I'm well aware that it's not. Before I know it, I've already lined up, shoulder to shoulder with countless others. And as I stand up there, a strange wave of emotions is crashing through me. Anxiety, fear, determination. All of my training's going to add up to this one moment. As I look out to the crowd, I see someone sitting there who has a black suit with a distinct crest on it. I knew it. My dad just sent one of his assistants in his place. Someone to report back to him. I won't be able to lie about it. The only way out of this is to win. And as I stand there, I can feel my insides churning. I've never been this nervous before. This will be the moment that makes or breaks me. I look towards the stands and see those two smiling back at me. If I don't do it, I am going to be miserable for the rest of my life. If I don't do it, I'll have to leave them behind. That's not an option. I get myself to the starting position. Every muscle in my body tensed up. I have to relax it a little bit. I'm going to waste all of my energy worrying if I don't relax. I take a few deep breaths, letting that nervous energy out. Try the trick from Dune. Seriously, that mantra that Paul uses in Dune to sort of calm himself, which is, I will not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that leads to total obliteration. I will feel my fear. I will let it pass over me and through me. And when it is gone, only I will remain. I really like that sort of mantra. I've been known to use it myself when I need to calm the hell down. I look back to Hiromi, sitting there in the stands with her usual calm look. And deep down, I can't help but feel her calmness wash over me. And then I look at Miyaku. She lives life loud, angry, and with as much energy as she can muster. And her attitude's rubbing off on me. As long as they're there, watching over me, how could I possibly fail? But now is not the time for idly daydreaming. The judge is taking his place. Here it comes. I prepare myself to leap into the water. I'll pour all of myself into these few moments. I am not a failure, and I'm going to prove it. And the whistle blows. The moments before I enter the water seem to go in slow motion. My technique is perfect, and as my fingertips touch the water, it offers me no resistance at all. It's as if the pool is welcoming me. I can't help but let a smile form on my face as the water rushes around me. Now this is where the real pain begins. I have so much to focus on. My breathing has to be perfect, and my technique has to be perfect. I begin surging through the water, moving faster than I think I ever have in my life. My competition is strong, very strong. Even with this pace, I'm barely keeping up with all of them. I'll have to see who tires first. It's a desperate competition. Everyone seems to be in it neck and neck. We'll see how the other guys hold up. Second lap now, I'm maintaining my pace. I think the best thing to do for now is to take it easy. I can feel the strain on my muscles already though. Some of them are surging ahead of me too, I can tell. And I need to decide what I'm going to do now. Maintain this pace, or give it everything I've got. They're starting to tire right now, but one of them's still in front of me. The sound comes from the crowd that I need to start giving it all I've got. Hurry up! You're going to make it, Keita! Don't you dare lose now! The goal's just in front of you! And encouragement from that, how else could I not? I begin pumping my muscles, no matter how much they scream at me, and the guy in front of me begins to slow down. He's got a fair lead on everyone by now, and he thinks he's won this. But I surge ahead of him, taking him by surprise, and as he realises his mistake, he begins to pick up the pace again. Now it's just a matter of who can make it first. We're on the final lap, and the pain in my body is tearing me apart. My breathing is shallow, and I'm barely able to catch my breath. We're practically neck and neck. He's tiring too, still pushing himself as hard as he can. But I have a reason to win this, and more than ever, I need to win this. For once in my life, I want an accomplishment that I can call my own, and this will be that accomplishment. We're now at the point where I call the heartbreak stretch. That tiny distance you have to cover before you're done, and I let out one last burst of energy. This is it. This will be the defining moment. And I managed to get just that little bit ahead of him, and reach out for the finishing line. The distance feels so long, like there's an entire galaxy between me and the finish, but my hand begins to close the gap. I close my eyes as I reach forward. I feel my fingers brush against cold concrete, and slowly I open my eyes. As I look around me, I see that I'm the only one at the end. I did it! I did it! I won! I came first place! And I can hear my competition splashing behind me. He stopped shortly after. There's no doubt about it. I've won the tournament! I can hear Hiromi and Miyako cheering for me, and bit by bit I pull myself out of the water. My heart is racing, my arms ache, my lungs are hurting more than I ever thought they could. But I did it! I don't have to transfer now. I practically plop onto my back, trying to get my breath back, and the bright blue sky above me seems so nice right now. As I slowly get up, I see Hiromi and Miku rushing towards me. Both of them embrace me in a group hug. You did it, Keita! You won! You have no idea how proud I am of you right now. I can't believe you managed to pull it off. Maybe you aren't as stupid as I think you are? I'd complain, but I know that's about as nice as Miku gets. Thanks, both of you. I couldn't have done this without the both of you. The best teachers I've ever had. Don't let us take all the credit. This is something you did for yourself. We showed you the way. It was you who pushed yourself down that path. Yeah? Don't downplay your own achievements. This is your victory, Keita. Savor it. They're both right. This is ultimately something which I had to do for myself. They showed me the way, but it was me who pushed myself in at the end. Still, I'm so grateful that I met both of you. I don't think I've ever been happier than I am now. They both blush as I say that. We make you happy. Very happy. It was nothing. Just nothing. Stop saying such embarrassing things. Miku could barely handle being complimented by me. Ah well. This is one of the happiest days of my life. I can say that with no doubt. The bus ride back felt like it lasted forever. Perhaps that's what a conquering king felt like when he marched back to his homelands. Weary, exalted. We all ended up going back to my apartment. I collapsed face first into my lounge. I don't think I've ever been this tired before. All I want to do is sleep, give my aching muscles a chance to recover. That's not going to happen though. I can hear those two barging their way through the door. Come on, Keita. I know we've worked you harder than that. Now's not the time to be lazy. Now is exactly the time to be lazy. I don't want to do anything else but bury my face in a pillow. You know, we never actually got to play that Arcadian battle station. I could hear her rummaging through that cardboard box I keep it in. Oh wow, you have Dungeon Rumbler 3! Sorry, Dungeon Rumbler 2? We haven't played that in years? I know! When was the last time we played with an Arcadian battle station at all? Let's play it now. Sure, go ahead. I'm not even really here right now. I can hear the two of them jumping onto my lounge, settling in. But it's been a hell of a long day for me. But it's over. I'm going to be able to stay here with Harumi and Miku. I know it isn't going to get any easier from here. If I want to stay, I'm going to have to do better as a student, but I can't afford not to care about it anymore. Do I really want more study sessions with these two? It's probably going to be one disaster after another. Still, I don't mind, as long as it's with them. I can feel myself drifting away from the real world. Time for sleep. Harumi, you stole my power-up? Miko's thunderous yelling is enough to make me leap off the lounge. It landed at my feet. How is it your power-up? We're supposed to share? I get one power-up, then you get one power-up. Maybe the power-ups want to spend more time with me than you. We aren't talking about the power-up anymore, are we? Oh god, I already know what Harumi is alluding to. Well, I'm going to take all the power-ups now. And I'm going to be fine when the boss comes. Then I'll just take the power-ups too. They're as much my power-ups as your power-ups. Ooh, look, a spare life. Nah, not this time. Damn it, Miko, that was mine. Maybe the extra life wanted to be with me instead. You two have fun. I barely mumble that as I stumble towards my room, closing the door behind me, and collapse onto my bed. How are those two still going after the tournament? Should they be exhausted like me? We're still nowhere on their level after all this time. But I don't mind. I love both of them. And I can say that without shame or hesitation. There's still one thing I need to deal with though. But that can wait for the morning. For now, I'd just like to get some sleep. I hope that Miku doesn't start yelling too loud. There's one last thing that I need to do. My dad would already know the results of the tournament, even though he couldn't be there. But now's the time to finally tell him what I've wanted to say. Hiromi and Miku are asleep. I'd better not wake them up. As I slowly put in the numbers, I can feel my hands shaking. This is such a huge step for me. I've always been a coward who's avoided conflict. I can freely admit that to myself now. But now, more than ever, I need to actually dive headfirst into one. Forget about people's expectations. Forget out all the other garbage that people have been laying on me my whole life. It's time for me to start doing things for myself. Because if I don't, I'm never going to get any fulfillment out of life. Right, that to me seems like a pretty good point to end this part. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next.